Alright, hello everyone. I'm going to be doing the Shenandoah National Park as my national park that I decided to do. My name is Trevor Hanishak, and I'm going to get into everything about the Shenandoah National Park. Alright, so these are the main questions that are going to be discussed throughout this presentation. The first question is, where's the Shenandoah National Park located? The second one is, what animal in this national park has its densest population in the U.S.? Third one is, what causes rock outcrops? Next is, what large hiking trail runs right through Shenandoah National Park? And the last one I'm going to be talking about is, what large mountain range mostly runs through this area? So the Shenandoah National Park is located in northern Virginia. You can see it's actually right there. You can see the little green there. That's where the park is located. And it actually runs, the Appalachian Trail actually runs straight through the park. So if you're in the Shenandoah National Park, you'll actually be basically probably walking on parts of the Appalachian Trail when you're there. And I can actually go on here and look right here as the entire map here that we can see of the because it's a lot bigger than the presentation slide, so I just wanted to go in and look at it here. You can actually see it's very large all throughout Virginia here, different parts of the range, and you can see the Appalachian Trail going through it through the middle here. So there's that. That's the maps of it. I'm going to continue on. One second, actually. There we go. Okay, so the main geological features of the Shenandoah National Park is the ecosystems. The ecosystems of Shenandoah they have the largest fully protected area in the Mid-Appalachian region, and that includes 300 square miles of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Now, the Blue Ridge Mountains is a very large mountain range in the area, and it's actually pretty crazy that a lot of those mountains are actually included in here. So as you're going down the Appalachian Trail, you're actually going to be going through the Blue Ridge Mountains as well. So there's a lot of stopover points that you can go and you can see, and it's a very big tourist attraction because of the large overlooks and things you can see, and you can see a lot of the surrounding area because of the mountains you're going to be walking on. Another large and main feature that is included in these Shenandoah National Park is the rock outcrops. Now, a rock outcrop is a visible exposure of bedrock or rock formation, and it's on the surface of the earth. They vary from large boulders to cliffs and are known to be very popular tourist destinations because they're usually on the either the top of the mountain or in an area where people would like to come and view the surrounding area from those rocks. That's where a lot of pictures are taken. That's where a lot of people like to go. And in this national park, they're filled with them because there's a lot of steep cliffs that you can be. Because you're going on the mountains, you're going to be able to see these rock outcrops. And on these outcrops actually include a lot of vegetation and plants that are very known to the region, and only in this region several different plant life and different animals that like to live on these rock outcrops of the Shenandoah National Park. So these are some pictures of it. You can see different rock outcrops and some steep cliffs here that you can see, and then they have the very wide area you can see of over the entire park, and lots of parts of Virginia you'd be able to see from these mountains. A lot of things here, and they all stick out of the ground like that and everything like that. And then here's another outcrop here with a bunch of plants on it. You can see a lot of the features here and a lot of the diverse ecosystems that live here on these features that are on these mountains here that you'd be able to see when you're going through the trail. So you'd see plenty of these rock outcrops when you're up there. I'm just going to be talking about how they're formed and kind of how they come to be. And mostly the way that these rock outcrops come together is the weathering and erosion that causes these rocks to come. So they're actually under the dirt and under the ground at some point a long time ago. And over a while, these rock outcrops do become visible after weather and hundreds of years of weather erosion being able to take out these rocks. And that's why they're called rock outcrops, because they're outcropping from the original formation. They're actually sticking out, which is why they create these cliffs and everything here, because it's all dirt, but then it gets eroded away, and then it's just a big outcrop of rock. A lot of mountain regions where several parts of these mountains are exposed, so there are some of the largest and most incredible outcrops are formed from these mountains, and the reason for that is because the steep cliffs are a lot easier to form these outcrops. Instead of a plane where it's like a thing here, you're not going to be able to see a lot of rocks coming out of it because it's already in the formation of like a square. Where like a steep cliff like this, if there's dirt here, it's very easy for it to erode away and show this sharp angle coming out from a steep cliff that you'd be able to see. So I actually have a demonstration here on this PowerPoint. I was able to get my YouTube video onto here that you'd be able to see, and I actually kind of drew and kind of went into a little bit more detail on how these rock outcrops were actually formed. So I have my video here. Okay, so you can listen to. I'm going to be doing a little demonstration on a piece of paper with a pencil a little bit about the rock outcrops that I was talking about in my national park. So the rock outcrops that form on mountains and such come out from weathering and erosion. So if you think about it, you have the rock, which is underneath some of the dirt and stuff like that a long time ago. And then as weather starts to erode, it starts to erode some of the dirt and ground and such that is on the rocks that are actually underneath. So when I sit here and I start to erase some of this stuff from erosion and everything from the weather, you start to actually see the rocks that are formed underneath. So after a while, and after a few years, and after a few hundreds of years, the weather actually starts to erode the rock away, and you can start to see the rocks that form after a few hundreds of years of weather erosion. So when you come to a place like that and you see these big rocks sticking out of just random mountains and stuff and random parts where it looks like there might have been ground, you can see the rocks poking out. And the ground is still over top, but as the weather hits the rocks in the steep areas here and it starts to form the actual rock outcrops that are formed and that you can see plenty of inside the national parks that I'm talking about. So, and here you go. There was a demonstration of how rock outcrops are formed. Okay, so there you go. There was my demonstration on how rock outcrops were formed. So I just have some interesting facts about the Shenandoah National Park, and my first one is about 101 miles of the Appalachian Trail are located within Shenandoah National Park's boundaries. I just find that interesting because it's a very large trail, but just such a huge chunk of it is in this national park. It's just crazy to see because it's just a very monumental thing to be known that's in this park. As I was talking about before, the Blue Ridge Mountains, found in Shenandoah's National Park, are believed to be as old as 500 million years old. They're called Blue Ridge Mountains because of their blue color when viewed at a distance. Shenandoah National Park is home to Virginia's largest black bear refuge, as well as being home to the densest population of black bears in the United States. So out of the entire United States, this area has the most black bears in it. It has the densest area filled with black bears. That's just crazy to think of just in one park like that. It's not even, it's a big park, but it's just crazy to think about how many of these black bears can actually be in this park at one time. And then my last one is the Shenandoah National Park is home to the endangered species, the Shenandoah salamander, and this amphibian is able to breathe through its skin and can only be found in this national park. So this amphibian cannot be found anywhere else in the entire world. It is in one area and it is inside this park. And I just thought that was kind of interesting to think about it as just one creature that is involved here in just this park that's just local to just one place. So other examples of these rock outcrops that I was talking about, we have the Vasquez Rocks in California, and you can see there they're just a large rock formation, and I'm going to be clicking on these here to show you the Google Maps. You can see it's in the lower part of California, and it's kind of right next to Los Angeles. You can go and view it there. And then we have in Yana, India, we have an area here which is a very large rock formation there that is local to the area there, and we can see it here. It is in the southwest part of India. So we have that, and we have the Bald Rock National Park, which is in Australia, which you can see large rocks that are being stuck out there from weather erosion, like I talked about before. That is in the eastern part of Australia. Those areas there are a lot like these rock outcrops that I was talking about in Shenandoah. They're obviously much larger than probably some of the rocks there, because, I mean, even these ones mostly aren't mountain rock outcrops. They're their own rock outcrops that are basically like a small mountain. So they're a lot larger and they're more extreme than what I'm talking about, but the Shenandoah ones are very similar. And back to those questions that I had in the beginning. So these are my actual questions that you're going to be looking at here. So you have the same question that I had there in the beginning. Where is it located? And you can talk about Pennsylvania, California, Virginia, Idaho. The next question would be which animal has the densest population, and it'd be bald eagle, brown bear, red-tailed hawk, or the black bear. What causes rock outcrops? You got weather, erosion, volcanoes, lightning, and deforestation. What's the large hiking trail that runs through the park? You got the Ochita Trail, the Appalachian Trail, Colorado Trail, and Pacific Crest Trail. And what large mountain range runs through this area? So you got the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and the Cascade Range Mountains. So yeah, there are the questions for you. And here are my sources. So when you're done, and if you are watching this video for some reason and you don't want to know the answers, you could stop it now. And the next slide that I'm going to show here real quick is just the answers to those questions that I put in the slide here for anyone to answer. And for you, Drew, if you're watching this as well, you can see the answers for grading and everything. So the answers were, the first one was C, was Virginia. It's located in Virginia. Number 2 is D, is black bear, which is the densest population in the area. You got 3, which is A, weather erosion. That's how those rock outcrops were formed. 4 was B, Appalachian Trail. That's the trail that runs through the Shenandoah National Park. And 5, which was A, is the Blue Ridge Mountains, which are the large mountain ranges that go through. So yeah, so here is my presentation on the Shenandoah National Park. Thank you. Have a good day.